Mardell, how are you today? My hair is still wet. Hi, Sharon, how are you? Slim Twiggy, glad you could join me. I just woke up. I've been out in the yard all morning messing with my security camera. I had to take it down and put it back up. It was so hot out there. I came in, took a shower, shampooed my hair to get the sweat out. Just leaned back on the couch with my feet up, dozed off. I had the alarm set on my phone though, so I wouldn't oversleep. So all I feel like doing now is just laying back down and going back to sleep. You know how that is when you take a nap in the afternoon. You don't want to get up. Claire, hello. How are you? Sharon, Gladys. And I notified Bloomin', so she knows we were going live at 3 o'clock Central Time. I know. I got so hot out there. I had to come in several times just to cool off and drink some water, and then I'd go back out there and finish. But finally, I got the camera moved. I got it put back up. The problem with it, I had it on the side of the shed at the top, but it was kind of under the overhang of the roof. So certain parts of the day it was shaded, so that little solar panel didn't get any sun, so it kept losing the charge. So I took it off of there and I moved it to the very edge corner where the trim is on top of the shed, so it can be in the sun all day now. So I should not have any problem with it losing its charge. But it was hot. And little buddy was out there wondering, well, what in the world are you doing? It's too hot to be out here. Well, it's in the refrigerator. I wish you had it, Gladys, because I don't want to have to eat it. I just left it in the refrigerator overnight. I haven't taken it out. I was going to let it set real good and then cut it in pieces and then freeze it individually so I could take out some whenever I wanted it. But I haven't done it yet. I've had too much to do that, so. Is Fran in? Linda Franz. I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly. Hello, how are you, Linda? Yeah, you can freeze cheesecake. That's one reason I didn't mind making it, because I knew I wasn't going to sit there and eat that whole thing, and did not even want to eat it in a week. So I was just going to cut it in little pieces and package it individually and put it up in the freezer. I just haven't done it. Like I do a lot of stuff I cook. I couldn't do a banana pudding that way, though. I don't know how the bananas would be to freeze them. They'd probably come out black. Hey, how are you, Linda? It's 95 degrees out there. And you know what? first thing this morning, I got up about 7, and I heard little buddy meowing, so I brought him in, gave him something to eat. All of a sudden, I heard something weird sounding, and I said, "What is that?" I opened the back door to the kitchen back here behind me, and it had started to rain. The only problem is it rained just enough that a little bit of rainwater dripped off of the patio cover, and then it stopped. It did not even get the ground wet, but it cooled the temperature off just a little bit. So when I did first start moving that camera, it was a little cooler. But I tell you, about halfway through it, it had started heating up, the sun come out, and it was hot. Because it seems like it's extremely hot right after it rains a little bit. And just that little bit of rain was enough to start making it humid. And it was just unbearable out there. Living life, loving, how are you? And Ashley, how are you? We got Kathy in here. Hello, everybody. I'm glad you could make it. I tried to pick a time. I said, well, Sunday afternoon, mid-afternoon should be a good time, because if you went to church, you're out of church, you've ate lunch, and you're probably just kicked back watching a movie or looking for something to do. It's not time to go to church yet again for tonight, so I said hopefully 3 o'clock would be a good time. I haven't seen Blooming in there yet. But it's going to be up to like 100 tomorrow, I think. There's several days this coming week that it's going to hit 100, 97, with no rain. And my garden is just purely suffering. I found several of my little winter squash, no bigger than a baseball, already turned yellow and dropped off the vine. I found one of my honeydew melons that just fell off the vine. So I just picked them up and threw them in the pot. And I said, well, if they got seeds in them to amount to anything, maybe they'll grow a few next year. But I tell you, this has been a weird summer. It's been hot, not 113 degrees or 15 degrees, but we've had no rain. We had a couple of weeks where we had rain every couple of days or so, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And hi, Joanne, how are you? We've got Joanne. Glenda, hello, how are you? I'm trying to keep up with it because I can't. Sometimes it fades off of my screen and I can't tell who's in chat. Got 17 in here already. That's good. Now 4 p.m. my time, so that would be 5 o'clock my time. Because I guess, no, it's 3 o'clock my time. And that's on Saturday, Slim Twiggy? Oh, I wish it would rain here, Linda. I'm telling you, I was praying that it would just downpour this morning, but just about as soon as I saw it raining, it stopped. The ground didn't even get wet, so the plants just got a little light drizzle of a rain on them, just enough to maybe wet the leaves, and then it just stopped. Okay, so if she goes to if she goes live at 4 o'clock, then it'll be 3 o'clock my time. And I guess that's still on Saturday. Oh, I wish we had some of that rain, Glenda. I'd love it for it to rain here. I watched a couple of Wilkes County Boys little short videos, and in every one of them it was just pouring down rain at his house. And I told him, I said, you need to send some of that rain my way. We need it desperately. Living Life Loving, you said you had some rain here a few minutes ago. Where are you at, Living Life Loving? Yeah, 3 o'clock my time is what I was thinking. Yeah, I figured 3 o'clock would be a good time because that's the hottest time of the day. And I said, I'm not going to be outside. So I said 3 o'clock would be a good time to go live. Yeah, believe it or not, I picked a couple of small romaine tomatoes, and I made me a BLT for lunch today. First BLT I've had this summer. That's what I usually do with some of the first tomatoes that I pick, is I make a BLT. Oh, you're in Houston, that's right. It rained really good in Houston Friday and Saturday. Well, it didn't rain here at all. Yeah, we've got to get some needed rain. My poor plants in my garden are just burning up. Especially since I can't water them the way I should. I mean, I water them a little bit a couple of times a week with my buckets, but, you know, with the compost tea, and then one day a week I can use the city water, but it's really not enough. In this kind of heat, they need water just about every day. Oh, you're in Colorado, Joanne, and you've been getting a lot of rain. Well, you've been getting rain for us too then. Got to do the rain dance, I guess. Need to do a rain dance with little buddy. I might scare little buddy to death if I started doing that. We dug up 15 small potatoes and pulled 6 decent Mexican onions. Well, good. I pulled my garlic and what few little, I didn't even realize I had onions left in my green stalk tower, but I pulled the garlic because the tops were dying, and I pulled the little onions with them. I had little pearl onions. I only got about 5 or 6 pearl onions, but then I got a little saucer full of garlic heads. So I've been using that fresh garlic. I got all that pulled before I planted my basil and those other tomatoes and things in the green stalk tower. I don't know where she's at. Maybe she took a nap and didn't wake up, because she said okie dokie when I told her, you know, I sent the message to her that I was going live. I've not made potato dumplings yet, but I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to have to come up with a really good recipe for it, though. I've never tried a potato dumpling. You said potato dumplings instead of chicken. Now I'm kind of confused. Are the potatoes the actual dumpling, or are you putting the actual flour dumpling in potatoes? I'm kind of lost. Yeah, I got 5 or 6 cucumbers, and I got a couple of handfuls of okra that I cooked the other day. Your daughter wouldn't eat meat as a child. Several of the little cucumbers I picked were really bitter. because it's been so hot and they've not been getting enough water. So they've come out really bitter. There was a couple of them that haven't been bitter, but for the most part, the ones that look really good, I thought were too bitter really to try to eat. 50 cucumbers. I haven't had that many. I may have gotten about 8 or 9 cucumbers so far. Hey Jody, how are you? You just cook. I'm confused. Cook Irish potatoes, then make dumplings once potatoes are done and drop in boiling broth. Yeah, but what do you put in your broth? I mean, you don't just have the plain potato broth, right? I mean, you add maybe chicken broth or beef broth or something to it, don't you? Yeah, you finally caught alive. I figured this might be a good time mid-afternoon on Sunday. Most people are not doing a whole lot unless they've got to work on Sunday, or maybe they plan to go to visit family or something. Well, I'm glad you got 30 tomatoes. I haven't gotten 30 tomatoes yet. I've got a lot of green tomatoes out there. My big slicing tomatoes, they're still on the vines and they're green, so they're not ready to pick yet. But I couldn't resist those couple of Roma tomatoes. Romaine, they're not romaine, they're Roma. Roma tomatoes that I picked. I had to make me a tomato sandwich. I love tomato sandwiches, and that was so good at lunchtime. I fried some bacon and put bacon on there, and it was so good. First BLT of the summer. The watermelon's suffering. I mean, one vine looks pretty good. The other vine looks like it wants to burn up, so I don't know. Oh, you're filming birdies right now, Jody? Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I've got a couple of winter squash that are in the 4 totes that are behind the shade cloth. They seem to be doing okay, but I just keep watching them. I've got a winter squash about that big around on one of those vines, and I've got some more small ones. So I've been watching them. The plant looks good. The squash plant that was in there died, but that winter squash still looks good. Wilkes County boy, hello, how are you? I saw some of your videos and all that rain made me so envious. We need that rain here. Your zucchini did fine. Well, I picked those 2 first zucchini that I cooked, and then the vine's dead. I mean, the zucchini, all my zucchini died. Every zucchini plant that I had in my garden died. I've got a couple of squash plants left, but they're not doing anything. Raw men. I was trying. I was trying to say Roma tomatoes, and I kept saying romaine tomatoes. I'm stuck on romaine no matter what I've got. I mean, I don't know why. You Living Life Loving says I can't have a rooster in my neighborhood. I can have 12 chickens and 1 rooster, but I've never had any. my neighbors around me do, because you can hear the rooster and you can hear the chickens in the background in some of my videos. And people think they're mine, but they're not. They're right across the street. And I've got several 2 blocks down that way. It says peel Irish potatoes cut in long cuts like quarters. Stick of butter and water over potatoes. Cook till not too tender but nearly done. Make and roll out dumpling dough. I'd probably want to throw some chicken broth in there. You got 2 roosters out of 6 supposed to be hens. Yeah, but I thought to myself, you know, if everybody in this whole community had at least 1 rooster, oh my God, we'd have so many roosters. It'd be unreal. We'd all be woken up by roosters every morning. I mean, the rooster across the street from me, you know, in some of my videos, you see that privacy fence that runs along the street. Well, that's where the chickens are, just right on the other side of the fence. They put the privacy fence up to shelter their rooster and their chickens and what they got going on back there. But during the day, I can hear the chickens, I can hear the rooster every morning, and it doesn't bother me. I mean, it kind of reminds me of being home, you know, to hear the rooster crowing. I've never seen their rooster, but one of their little chickens got out, and he kept getting here in my backyard. He came up here like 3 different mornings, and they got him back the first time. He got out again, and I don't think they ever caught him that second time. Because I asked them later, I said, well, did you ever get your chicken? And they said no, he never came back home. But you know, most chickens, when they have a hen house, so to speak, with their roost and all that, if they get out, they usually go back to that roost at night. So I was thinking that chicken probably went home on its own unless somebody got it or some dog got the chicken. It might have been lunch for some dog around here. If you do a powwow dance video, I might get rain. I might. I don't know. Everybody keeps telling me to do a rain dance. Do you a dance, Google? Wow. LOL. How about the what? How about the crowing going on at the Hodges? Oh, I tell you what, I don't know. If one rooster's not crowing, the other one is, isn't he? They got crowing going on all day long. Well, I still can't believe Bloomin' is not here. You have to be naked in the moonlight to do your rain dance? So in other words, if you're naked out in the yard doing a rain dance, it might rain, hopefully to cover you up so people don't see you. Your rooster started being a rooster and it's scaring your hens? Huh. I've never had chickens and roosters, so I don't know how they act. I mean, my grandmama had them all the time, and I always saw them in her yard. But I didn't have to take care of them, so I don't know anything about taking care of them other than feeding them corn. I used to go to the corn crib with my grandmother because it was right behind their house. And we'd get a couple of ears of corn out and go up to the backyard, right behind their house, and start shucking the corn off the cob and just dropping it on the ground, feeding the chickens with it. They loved it like that. Well, I was hoping to wait. I got something in the mail yesterday, late yesterday evening, and I know Bloomin' sent it. So I was trying to wait till she came in to chat, and I knew she was here before I opened it. It's dark and no one else sees you. I tell you what, I don't think anybody would want to see me out there naked. They probably thought the crazy lady's lost her mind. Naked in the moonlight, maybe early in the... I keep hitting the tripod down here. But if it brings the rain, yeah. Hey, if I thought it would bring the rain, I might try it. I'd wait till it got really dark outside, and I'd get somewhere where my security cameras weren't, because if I walk under them, the light's gonna come on and be like being under a spotlight, and I sure don't want that. Well, you know what? It's funny, we're talking about chickens, and my son and his wife just put in a big, nice chicken coop, and he built a run for them, and they got, what was it, 8 chickens. No rooster, just 8 chickens. And the first week or so they had the chickens, they were laying like crazy. And then it come that 113-degree day, and one of their chickens died. And they said now the chickens don't seem to want to lay eggs. So I don't know what's going on with their chickens. Could use feathers for pasties. Y'all are crazy. Yeah, I can see you, Jody, out in your yard dancing around doing a rain dance nude with just pasties on made out of feathers. Yeah, I thought about one time of getting maybe 3 or 4 chickens and just for the eggs, but I don't really have anywhere to put them. I don't have grass, and if I put them anywhere, they'd be on rocks. They'd have to stay in their little pen. I could probably fix them a little chicken run, but they'd be confined to one area all the time. And then the ants are so bad out here, I don't know how the ants would do with chickens. Oh, Miss Weaver, welcome. Glad to have you. Yeah, with me, I guess it's probably the best just to get my eggs at the store. Yeah, my son had told me, he said, Mom, when you come next time, he said, bring you some empty cartons for your eggs, and I'll give you some eggs. Well, I didn't know the chickens had stopped laying, and I went over there the 4th of July, after I came home from the parade. And he said, oh, Mom, we don't have any eggs. The chickens just haven't been laying for some reason. And I think Regina got 2 eggs out of a chicken coop while I was there. We walked out there to look at it. And the chickens didn't want to come out of the chicken run that he made for them in the, but they were just huddled up in the chicken coop. And Regina had to basically run them out to get them out in the yard. And she'd been freezing watermelon and cantaloupe and cutting it in small, chunks and putting it in a pan out there for them. And she said they seemed to like it. Well, they paid top dollar for their chicken coop. It looks like a little tiny house I could live in. And then my son built the little run himself. He put up those metal posts that you get. I guess they're like maybe 6 or 7 foot tall. I don't know, maybe 8, because part of them are buried in the ground. I know it's taller than my head. And then he's got that mesh stuff run around it so they can't get out. And then he's got a shade cloth, the right size of the run he built to keep them shaded, but yet the rain can come in. He didn't want to put a tarp up because he said he didn't want it puddling up in water, but he could have put a pole up in the center a little bit higher to where it would, drain off. I guess he didn't think about doing that. I have a grandmother who has Cherokee Indian heritage. My daughter was one. It was too hot. She wanted rain, so being my silly self, I did a rain dance just pretending, and it poured 2 weeks nonstop. That'd be my luck. If I ever got out there and did a rain dance and it did any good, we'd be flooded. We'd have so much rain we'd be begging for it to stop. And she then begged me to make it stop. I don't know, maybe Blooming is not feeling good again. I have no idea. But she said okie dokie, like, she'd be here. Let me message her. See if it'll do any good. She hasn't messaged me back, so I don't know if she's got the message. My son just got to I got a message from my son. He said he just got to Miamisburg. The company sent him on another company trip. So he just got to his hotel. Let me ask him again, because I don't remember what state he was going to. He may not be on. Is that in Ohio? I think he said one time they were sending him to Ohio. I don't remember. But I know that he just said he was in Miamisburg. I just go down my chat list and send out invites. Well, thank you. I don't even know how to do that. Ohio, that's right. My son had just in Ohio. He just got to his motel in Miamisburg. I told him to enjoy. Well, let me get over here and message Patty. I'm asking her if she's okay and I'm telling her that we are live and people are asking about her. So if she's awake and she gets the message, maybe she'll pop in. I know we need to support each other. I watch a lot of your videos, Wilkes County boy, even though you're not live at the time. Because since I'm subscribed to your channel, you know, I get notifications on all your videos. So I try to watch some, make comments to what I can, even if I don't get to catch you live. And I do the same with Slim Twiggy. Sometimes I don't catch her live, but I watch some of her videos. Yeah, see, she's not active right now. And usually she's active all the time. It says here she was active 1 hour ago on Messenger, so she may not get my message. I'm letting her know that I got her package. Yeah. Like I said, though, I sent the message to her, but she's not online. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe she's still feeling bad and I told my son to enjoy himself in Ohio. He says, I'm working, but I will. At least they didn't send him someplace freezing cold, which with this heat, he probably wouldn't even mind that. Oh, we got PJ in here. Welcome. Shirley Nash is online too now. I'm having to look at my phone because my chat keeps fading off on my screen up here. Shirley, we Carolina girls, best in the world. Don't forget that song. Yep, that's what I forgot to do, Kathy. You would think, with it being your own recipe, you would not forget ingredients, and I had written my ingredients down so I wouldn't forget, and I still forgot to put the 2 tablespoons of flour in my pie. But yes, it helps set the pie so it doesn't like fall over or run. You know, because like even in a pumpkin pie, you do put a little bit of flour. Any of the pies that you make that's set, you do put a little bit of flour in. So anybody that makes a cheesecake, I know most of those recipes do not call for flour in any of them. But I don't want pudding. I want cheesecake. And that's what it's called, cake. So it helps if you put the 2 tablespoons of flour in there when you're mixing up the cheese and all the other ingredients. And then that helps it get firm. The Gathering Place. Okay. Well, I have to check that out. What does PJ do on their channel? Is it just a chat or? Yeah, I was fixing to send it when I saw Wilkes County Boys message with PJ's uh, channel. Yeah, I got this package in the mail yesterday, late. And Bloomin' had already told me she was sending something. But look at this, y'all. She sent me a pair of clogs. I think they're right cute. They're pretty. I like them. I've never owned a pair of clogs in my life. But I'm sure I'm going to get some good use out of those. And I got something else in the box too. I mean the package too. This one's in a box, but they were both in the same package. And it's another pair of clogs, y'all. She didn't send me one pair. She sent me two pairs. I can get them up here right, correctly. Two pair of clogs. So I can just kind of match my outfit, I guess. I've never had clogs before. But I know kids always loved them. My son-in-law loves them. He wore them all the time. But yeah, I like these. I'm sure I'll get some good use out of these clogs. And they look a lot nicer than some that I've seen. They've got arch supports in them as well. They're nice. And I was hoping Bloomin' would be on when I opened the box. That's nice. She sent me some colorful ones and then some just the black ones that will go with just about anything I'll wear. So that's really nice. Thank you, Bloomin'. Shirley says, I done kicked myself out twice. I know, Bloomin' is a sweetheart. I mean, she is so generous. I know she sends Stephen and Helen and Tammy and Danny a lot of stuff. I know she keeps them in shirts and boots and stuff on their concert nights. I know, she's a really sweet person. Yeah, these are some really nice clogs. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy wearing them. And I told her, I said, I've never in my life owned a pair of clogs before. Jody Jackson's channel. The Gathering Place. Huh. I'm going to have to check that out. I'll have to check all these out when I get time. I don't usually... Saying it's a stressful day. I don't think Bloomin' wants anybody to send her anything. She's not too anxious to give out her address to anyone. Yeah, you were a woman before your time. I wear flip-flops all the time, especially if I'm home or if I'm just running to the store to pick up something, you know. A lot of times I've got my flip-flops on because they're comfortable. JB from Tomball, Texas. Well, welcome, JB. I imagine it's hot there in Tomball just like it is here. It's 95 here today, and it's supposed to be up to 100 this coming week for several days with no rain. All my grass and weeds have burnt to a crisp. It looks like broken potato chips in my yard. Glenda says, Shirley, I've cried since looking at my hubby's shoes 3 days ago. But girl, we're going to be okay. We're tough, Carolina girls. You're getting friend mail from Tina Madden, Slim Twiggy. Is that what that's all about? Somebody's been sending you hate mail? Yep, need more subscribers. I need thumbs up. Click the bell so you get notifications. Yeah, I had decided I was not going to do a video today. I first was going to video me out there changing out my security camera, but I said I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do, and I said I didn't think people wanted to see me out there trying to figure it out. So, especially in the heat. So, I decided not to video that. Oh, Shirley, a 9-week-old kitten. The last cat that I owned, Crybaby, I went to do a knife demo in a ranch in Joshua. And she had two female cats that just had litters of kittens. Well, I came home with one of the kittens, and it was only 5 weeks old. But I fed it milk and canned cat food and stuff, and that cat was fine. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know, Slim Twiggy. That comment that Wilkes County boy made, I was wondering who was getting hate mail or what was going on there. Gladys says, I love getting happy mail. Yeah, so far, I mean, I've made friends with all my followers that get into chat. I've not had a problem with them yet. PJ got a bad comment in one of her videos. Well, you know, it's bound to happen. I didn't get a bad comment, but I had one subscriber come in and she said she just subscribed to be able to delete messages or something. I don't know. I'm still not too keen on what she was talking about. But she posted messages in chat and then she went right back and deleted them out. And I said, well, that doesn't make sense. She can't delete anybody's chat but her own. I wouldn't think. So anyway, I got rid of her real fast because I didn't know what she was up to. Shirley, is it having problems? Oh, Jody says, I've only gotten something super cool. Was this coffee board from Slim Twiggy. I have coffee every day on it. It's beautiful and thoughtful. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to take a 5-week-old kitten away from the mother and not have any problems feeding it. I didn't have any problem with mine, and it was only 5 weeks old. Linda, you're a sweet, kind lady. That's why I'm your mod. Well, thank you, Gladys. He should live if you feed him. Just feed him some milk and give him a little bit of food. PJ said mine was a video of a rock garden. I got rock gardens all over my videos. Your rock garden probably looked a lot better than mine, though. Well, thank you, Wilkes County boy. Yeah, I had a little puppy that was given away one time, and the poor thing he didn't hardly have strength enough to walk. And I went out to Farm and Ranch out here and got a can of puppy formula. And before he was half finished with that puppy formula, because it lasted for days, he was up running around just as spry as he could be. Pretty little puppy. I can't remember if I've ever baked a strawberry shortcake, so I mean, I may have one in my cookbook over here, but I don't think I've ever baked a strawberry shortcake. I may have, a long time ago. Slim Twiggy says, I don't eat shortcake. Well, you go right ahead and answer your phone call, Wilkes County boy. Well, I made that video on the cherry cheesecake, but sometimes I wished I hadn't baked it because I don't want to eat it. It's too much sugar. I'm going to have to start sticking with more low-calorie type, low-sugar type stuff to cook on my videos. Not cookies, cakes, and pies. Living Life Loving says, I made a cherry pie yesterday. That sounds good. Jody, it's going to be your birthday soon, so you're going to have a strawberry shortcake. Yep, that sounds like a winner. Telemarketer. No, I'm not cutting a piece of that cherry pie because I'm not eating any of it right now. I ate the piece that I cut out when I made the video. And it like to got to me because it was so sweet. Living Life Loving used to be a wildlife rehabilitation agent. Well, that's cool. You need one of those things you put on your phone to answer all those calls that keeps them on the phone and aggravates the telemarketer till the telemarketer hangs up. Have you seen those advertised? Or what you could do is answer it when you realize it's a telemarketer. Start asking them questions. I mean, crazy questions. And sooner or later, they'll hang up on you. Or even better, don't hang up your phone. Just lay it down. And when they hang up, they can't make another call until you hang up. It keeps their line open so they can't make another call. That's a good way to aggravate them. But, you know, most of these telemarketers, they don't dial the numbers themselves. They use a computerized number generator that actually dials the numbers. So that telemarketer doesn't even have a clue what number that they just called. Yeah, you only need a half a cup or less of sugar. Because I tell you, it ended up way too sweet for me. And I mean, it might be better today since it's set and everything, but yeah, they advertise on the news quite often about these programs you can get to hook to your phone, or it's like an answering service. And it'll take all those robocalls and it talks to them crazy, asks them crazy questions, and just keeps them on the phone. And you're not even there, you know? Hey, Ann. We got Ann Watson, Joanne. Yeah, you have a good day, Joanne. Glad you could make it. Well, I was hoping that Bloomin' would have been on here. I wanted her to see when I opened the clog she sent. Showing. Give me. That's the way I am when I get in chats on other people's lives. There's so many people I want to say hello to. You can't physically type all the different names. There's too many of them usually. Just a Southern girl's dog. Jay's okay. Ann Watson's in. Hello, Ann. I guess Glenda's leaving. Bye, Glenda. Have a good day. It shows I've got 23 thumbs up. And I guess I've got about 23 in chat right now. I thought I might get some gardening people in here, but they haven't showed up. Yes, it's a nice thing to have a lot of people as friends that you get in chat on your channel. I think with this Texas heat and with my garden, everything burning up, people don't ask too many questions about my garden anymore. They figure I don't know what I'm doing, I guess. I don't know. But I can't help the weather. This is the worst summer I've had with my garden so far. Because everything started producing and then it got so hot and dry on everything. And then with the water restriction lasting till the end of the month, I can't keep it watered like it should be. So my whole garden is suffering bad. But, you know, that's things that are beyond my control. I mean, even with the heat, if I could run the water and keep everything watered the way it should be, I'd still have pretty decent looking plants. But and Bloomin asked, she said, well, why don't you just go ahead and water everything with a garden hose? I said, because I can't. They've got us restricted. You can't use a garden hose outside. I can't even wash my car outside. And the only way I can water my plants is with a 5-gallon bucket or smaller 1 day a week. And 1 day a week of watering my plants is not enough. So that's why I store compost tea in all those 5-gallon buckets and 22-gallon containers, is so, you know, I water 1 day with the city water, the next day I water with my compost tea. So at least I can water twice a week, and that's still not enough. That's why my plants are suffering, especially with no rain. I mean, you need a lot more water than what I'm allowed to put on my plants right now. And a lot of them that are in the shade are doing better than the ones that are in the sun most of the time. And I've put up shade cloth, but it's impossible to cover everything I've got growing out there. I got to fill my container up. I got so hot and sweaty, I've been drinking ever since I came in and showered. I mean, I was literally out there climbing that ladder to get up to where I was, you know, working on that security light camera. And I was perspiring so bad. It was just dripping in my eyes. It was dripping down my nose. It was just falling. And I said, man, I can't even see what I'm doing. It's so hot. I know, Miss Weaver, we desperately need rain here. And it tried to rain some this morning, but it was just a few drops. It was not enough to get the ground wet. It was just enough to cool things off just a tiny bit this morning. But that was it. But then it heated right up later. Yeah, mine that are in the shade are doing a lot better too. Well, all of my marigolds, I think just about every one of my marigold plants have burnt up. They don't like this extreme heat. And even though I've kept them watered what I can, they still are just all burnt up. So I think I'm going to cut them down, get all the seeds off of them, and go ahead and put something else there. Maybe some peppers or basil, because I've still got more basil plants, seedlings that I need to get out. Yeah, they don't like this extreme heat. I get out there wiggling in the yard, people are going to be calling the paddy wagon to me. Shirley says, I got a Shirley limeade, a cherry limeade from Sonic. I had to get the car serviced. Yeah, I need to take mine in probably for oil change, and I think it's time to put one of the air filters on it. But I'm not looking forward to that. That's going to be several $100s to get all that done, because I usually get my tires rotated too. And I can't remember if this is the rotation, the oil change that I need to rotate the tires, or did I have them rotated last time? I don't remember. I want one of those strawberry things from Sonic. Slim Twiggy, what's the temperature up there in Canada today? I've already got a 10 by 12 foot shade cloth up, and then I've got 2 3 by 6 foot shade cloths up, and then I've got one that's 8 by 6 foot shade cloth up. So I've got basically most of that garden area back there shaded halfway, but still the sun gets into a lot of it. Not here, it's not no $24.95. I don't know where you get it for that. They charge me $5 a wheel just to rotate my tires. And then it's at least 54 or 59 for the oil change. No, I can't send it to you, Gladys. I wish I could. 92. Well, yeah, that's pretty warm up there for you, Slim Twiggy. I know it's 95 here, but it feels like 105 outside. Oh, you just got a mean comment too, PJ? Says, I still got the same number of subscribers, LOL. Someone just passing by left mean comment. I guess entertainment for their day. I guess they have nothing better to do than to jump around from people's one channel to another on their lives and make mean comments. Yeah, everybody's talking about going to Sonic. Yeah, I've already decided whenever I have to put another set of tires on my car, because my car still has the set that it came with new, and I've just barely got 19,000 miles on my car. But when I do have to have new tires put on, I'm going to, oh, what is the name of that tire place? I can't think of it now. All I know is I get my tires there, and if you buy your tires from them, they rotate them for free. And if you have a flat, they'll fix it for free. Found out the mystery squash is pumpkins, but the female flowers are rotting. Yeah, I thought it looked like a pumpkin to me. Yeah, I've already got a price on the filter, and the filter alone is about $149 to replace that stupid filter that goes on the car. And then it's going to cost me $20 plus tax for the tire rotation, and then probably another $59 or $60 just for an oil change. So I'm looking at close to $300 and that I don't have. So they're going to have to wait till I get it. That's all I know. Well, I bought my car at Nissan, so I've been taking it in there to get it serviced. But I've been thinking about I need to check around. Discount tire, that's what I was trying to think of. This is where I usually buy my tires. I'll not be buying them at Nissan because they'll charge me $5 a tire every time I go in there to have them rotated. So I'd rather go to Discount Tire. They have just as good of tires, and they'll rotate them for free anytime I want them rotated. Plus, like I said, they'll fix a flat for free if I buy tires from them. And then I'm thinking too about going to the other place to get my oil changed. So, well, I don't think I want to try rotating my tires, and I don't think I want to try changing my oil. On these new cars, sometimes it's an act of Congress just to get to the place where you need to change the oil at. It's not like a lot of the older cars were. The older cars were real simple to do stuff. But I wouldn't even think about trying on these new ones. Jody says, I love the pretzel one. Do they have a pretzel slushy at Sonic now? I've not heard about that. Yep. Yeah, I've been going to Discount Tire for many, many years. I just haven't had to buy new tires yet because I bought a new car, so it came with a new set of wheels. So, but yeah, when I replace them, it's going to be a Discount Tire. No, it's a pretzel with cheese. But does it come from Sonic? I love pretzels and I love cheese, so the that tells you how often I go to Sonic. I haven't been to Sonic in several years. AAA road service for flats and towing, it's well worth it. I have been with AAA for over 40 years. Well, I thought about going with them, but a friend of mine drove to North Carolina and he broke down with his truck in hot weather. on that interstate for hours and hours waiting for AAA to send someone out there with a wrecker to tow him in to get serviced. And I don't know that I can handle that. And I watched a video on this lady that lives in her van, and her van needed to be serviced, and she called AAA because that's who she was with, and they made an appointment to come pick the van up and take it in to get it fixed. And they were supposed to come early that morning, and here it was noon, and they hadn't showed up. So she ended up calling somebody else to come get her van and tow it into the garage to be fixed, because that was her house. You know, she couldn't afford to have her house broke down. So I don't know. Hearing some of the things about AAA, I don't know if I want to go back with them or not. I was with them for a few months one time before, but I never had to use the service, so I don't know how it would have been. I started to go with AAA for car insurance, but shoot, the quotes I seen, they wanted more. Sorry. They wanted more for insurance for me with them than where I'm paying now. So I haven't switched over. Huh. I guess it depends on where you're at. And I guess since he was traveling from Texas to North Carolina, and he was on the interstate, he might have been in an area that was quite a big distance away from where any of the AAA service people were, or wreckers. I have no idea. Oh, now you're making me hungry. And Watson, I love Sonic's onion rings. I love onion rings too. I don't know that I ever got them at Sonic. Well, like I said, my car is new. It's a 2018, but I don't even have 19,000 miles on it. I think I'm like 300 or 400 miles less than 19,000. So it's still basically a new car. I haven't had to call a wrecker service, thank God, for my car. So I don't even know how my service that I do have would be. I can't believe it either. She must not be feeling well today. Or she may have fallen asleep and she slept through the time or something. Well, the insurance I used to have, they would go pick you up and tow your car up to 75 miles without charging anything extra. Once it got over 75 miles, they started charging so much per mile, I guess. I don't know how they charge. But where I broke down and called them was only like 40 miles away, so they had to tow my car for free. And then I told the guy, I said, well, look, I've got to ride in the truck with you because I don't have any way to get back either. I mean, I'm like my car. My car's left me stranded. I don't have any way to, get home. So he let me get up in the wrecker, and he drove back to Granbury and pulled my car up into the Chevrolet dealership where I was going to have it fixed. And I rented a car there and drove on home. Yeah, but did they charge you anything for your battery? living life loving? Or was it just paid for by your insurance? Yeah, the furthest I drive is to my son's house and back. Like I said, it takes me about an hour and 20 minutes to drive from my house to his. I'm not sure what the distance is in miles, but it's got to be about 50, 60 miles maybe one way. Other than that, I just drive around town here, which is only a couple of miles. So I don't put that many miles on my car anymore. And even back when I was working, when I first bought the car, my job was within 5 minutes of my house, so I only put a couple of miles a day on it. The most mileage I put on my car was the 2 trips that I drove to North Carolina and back since I've owned this car. And that was about 2,400 miles round trip both times. So that was about, what, 4,800 miles. $200 miles a day is too much. My son drives a long distance. He said he spends several hours on the road going to work and then several hours on the road going home from work. And he's tired of it. But he's got a good job, and they should have thought about that drive when they bought the house out where they bought it. They should have got it closer to his job. You're in a walker. Well, I tell you, car repairs, they're outrageous today. You can't afford to be broke down. Oh, y'all are making me want a Sonic pretzel. I'm going to have to go get me a Sonic pretzel for dinner tonight. Or to go with my dinner. Is it a really big one or is it a little one? I've never seen these, so I don't know. You had your first one a few nights ago and it was so good. My insurance will tow up to 200 miles. Well, I don't actually have towing with my insurance on my car that I've got now, but the dealership, the manager, when I bought the car, she said, well, no, they don't include towing with the insurance on your car, but she said, if you break down on the road, just call us and we'll send someone out. But now, she didn't say that they would do that at no charge. Oh, wow, your doctors are 53 miles away. That's a long ways to drive to go to the doctor. My eyes are all irritated from being out there in that breeze because I'm allergic to all that dust and pollen and crap. The whole time I'm thinking Dairy Queen, not Sonic. We have no Sonic here. Shirley says I was driving, so I got the limeade. Florida is so far. I've never been to Florida, but It would probably be about the same distance as North Carolina is from here. It's a good 1,200-mile drive one way. Y'all are making me hungry. I'm going to have to go get me some fried onion rings at Sonic. We've got a Sonic out here. Oh, wow. Well, I used to go to a MD that they took walk-ins. You didn't have to make an appointment. And they got you in and out fast. And he was a really good doctor. He knew exactly what to do, what was wrong. But now he's not here. The doctor I go to now, I like the doctor, but you've got to make an appointment. And like if I call him on Monday, I might get an appointment by the end of the week, or I may have to wait till the next week. And I said, if I need an allergy shot, what am I supposed to do? You know, if I'm sick with allergies and I'm about to go into anaphylactic shock and I need an allergy shot, I can't wait till next week, you know, to make an appointment to get in for him to give me a shot. So I guess they figured, well, you just go to the emergency room and get a shot. Hi, Shelley Edwards. Welcome. PJ says, I'd love to just get off grid. Well, then you wouldn't have a Sonic around. Jody says the next time she takes her dad to the doctor, she's going to go to Sonic. It's about 60 miles along, and it's along the way. Yeah, so why not stop at Sonic's? Shirley says she lives in no man's land. I guess that's one thing I like about where I'm at. And for so many years, you know, I didn't have any people basically living on my street except my neighbor on the other side of my wooded lot, which I never saw because you can't see through the lot, you know, for all the underbrush and the trees. And it was like living out in the country, but yet all the shops and stores were within 5 minutes. So I could just jump in the car and run out to town, pick up a loaf of bread or whatever I needed at the time. No problem. But now the community is really growing, and so many people are moving in, building homes, so they're filling up the lots, and it's not going to be so much like country anymore. In fact, I had an offer to buy my lot over here that day that I was out making my video, and I talked to that realtor. She was telling me that she just bought the lot next to mine over here, and she was going to build a house, but they're building a house to turn around and sell it to make a profit on it. And she wanted to buy my lot, my wooded lot over here, and she made 2 offers on it. And the last offer was awfully hard to turn down because I said she'd probably not offered again. But she said, I can buy that lot and build a house there too, and I'll have two houses to turn around and sell, flip. Or she said, if you want to build a house over there to make some money and then resell it, she said, I'll help you do it. But I said, yeah, but that means that I've got a neighbor right breathing in my yard, and I didn't want that. And that's why I would not sell the lot, because I didn't want the neighbor right in my yard, you know. I wanted my space. I may wish eventually that I did sell it, or I might eventually will sell it. I don't know. But right now it's my privacy fence, as I call it. Because I've got 3 lots and my house is on the middle lot. Then I got the wooded lot on this side, and then back over here I got my rock garden and uh, the rose bushes that are planted across the property line. So they're not like they're right at my back door. You know, there is a little bit of space. Yeah, it only, you know, increases in value over time. I've got property in North Carolina that I've not been able to do anything with, and I don't know. I may end up selling that as well because the taxes on that is pretty high. And sometimes I wonder from year to year if I'm going to be able to pay the taxes on it because I own 6 acres back there. There's no buildings or home on it. It's just property, just undeveloped property. And I think I told on some of my videos that I paid to have part of it cleared, and I had a driveway put in just to find out the property's so wet you can't do anything with it. I mean, you'd have to spend a lot of money to haul in sand and dirt to build up the property to be able to do anything with it. And I don't know that I could afford the amount of truckloads it would take to do that. I know I don't have the money, so I guess I can't afford it, can I? Yeah, any pretzels are addicting. I love pretzels, especially the hot, fresh, big pretzels you get at fairs and stuff like that. I know when every time I'd go to the Texas County Fair, where Big Tex and all that, or the state fair, I'd always have to get one of those hot pretzels up there, you know, great big ones. They're like $4 for one pretzel, they're so big. I know I bought one time and I split it with my son, my daughter-in-law, and my granddaughter. That's how big it was. It was good. Yeah, that's the way I like to be, with nothing around me. I like my privacy. I like my space. Oh, Kelly Picker worked at your Sonic before she became a country singer. Well, I guess it's not in the cards for me to move back to North Carolina because my property is just outside my hometown. And I always thought I'd be able to move back, build a house, and live there, close to family. But it's not working out that way. It would be so expensive. I mean, a developer would not have any problem with it because they've got the money behind them to develop the property. And then they could turn around and make money off of it. But little old me, I don't have tens of thousands of dollars in the bank to spend on filling in the property. Glenda says, Shelly Edward, get the pretzel and the strawberry shortcake, snowball slushy, or pink lady. It's in Atkinson, North Carolina. That's my hometown, Atkinson. It's a little town about 20 miles inland from Wilmington, Carolina Beach, Wrightsville Beach, that area. I actually lived on Oak Island in North Carolina before we came to Texas. And I didn't want to leave there. I loved living on that island. I could get out and walk on the beach any day I wanted to. It was just 2 blocks from the house. Glenda says, sorry, don't want any Sonic. It's gross. Yeah, I always thought, I kept the land all these years because my ex-husband, we were married at the time, bought the property. And he told me we'd build a house on it whenever he retired and left Texas and we moved back there. Well, we ended up divorced and I wanted the property as part of my divorce settlement. I said, I'll take less money, just give me the property. Because I thought it was buildable. I thought I'd be able to build a house on it and move back. But it is buildable if you got the money. I don't have the kind of money that it would take to haul in enough of dirt and sand to build up the property to be able to do anything with it. So, and the guy that I had to go in there and clear, he was my cousin's husband, and he got his dozer in there to clear the part of the property, and he said, man, it was so wet, I thought we had lost the dozer twice. He said, we almost lost the dozer 2 times in there, it's so wet. And he said, unless you got a lot of money that you can throw away to haul in dirt, he said, you'd be better off to sell it and buy you a piece of property that's not so wet. So I don't know what to do. I spent the money for the driveway and the money to clear part of the property, and that was just money thrown away. And my younger brother, he's kind of upset at me because he doesn't realize why I cleared part of it, put the driveway in, and then just left it. I said, well, I don't know what to do. I don't have the money that it's going to take to fill in that property. So, what he was telling me that it was too wet like it is to do anything with. I said, my hands are pretty much tied. Sell it to a water company. Yeah, that's what I need to do. And I'm not there to take care of business, so to speak. So, I don't know the people that I would need to contact even to bring in dirt and sand. I don't know how much it would cost me by the load. My brother even said it would cost a lot of money. And a lot of money I don't have. I said I'd spend all that money just getting dirt hauled in, and then I wouldn't have any money to put a house on it. So I still wouldn't be any better off. We got 33 people in the chat right now. Because I love barbecue pizza. I've never had barbecue pizza. I love barbecue though, so I don't know. My favorite is pepperoni. I like pepperoni, green onions, green peppers, lots of cheese. Sometimes hamburger thrown in on it. Whoop, 33 hungry people. We're all going to be going to get something to eat when my live's over. How many likes? Let me see. I've got 16 thumbs up. That's only half of what the people are in here, so y'all need to hit the thumbs up, people. You see 26. I don't know. Maybe not. Mine is not a true count. I have no idea. Oh, I see now on this screen it says 26 thumbs up and 32 people are watching. So I was checking on here where it's behind. I probably need to stick with reading it up here instead of reading it on this other phone. Your stomach's growling. Well, mine is just before growling because I'm starting to get hungry. Yeah, we got a few silent watchers because I don't think we got 33 in chat. Jody wants some peas. She's done eating on her backbone. I don't know about this conversation y'all got going on. Now Shelly wants some tater tots. Tater tots are good. I like tater tots. Just have Lazy Man's cabbage rolls. Oh, y'all are killing me. Your belly's rubbing your backbone, you're so hungry. That's a lot of rodeos, 100 rodeos in 100 days. Jody says she's weak now. So no, mine is gnawing my backbone. Well, I probably need to let all of you get off of this live and go get you some dinner. It's almost 5 o'clock. We've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes already. I want me some of those fried onion rings now. Y'all got me hungry wanting fried onion rings. Jody says headed to Shirley's to eat. And Ann says her husband's cooking northern beans and cornbread. Oh, that sounds good. New York going to eat at Shirley's. Never mind, headed to Ann's. Kathy, I eat anything except pole and wild meat. Hey, some of that wild meat's good. Venison is real good. Duck is good. Bird is good. My brothers used to love to go bird hunting, and they'd bring them little scrawny bodies back to my mom and tell mama to cook them for them. And she'd cook bird and rice, and we'd sit down there and eat it. It was pretty good. Wasn't hardly nothing but bones, though. Those birds were so tiny. Well, maybe I need to go to Ann's. I'm going to Linda for cherry cheesecake. I'm going to have to rob Sonic. I'm broke. I know the way the prices are, you can't afford to even go get a slushie anymore. And I bet those pretzels are probably at least $4 or $5. I don't know that I could afford to go get one of those cheesy pretzels. I'd love to have some venison. I haven't had venison in ages. Well, the last time was when my son gave me some, but he hasn't been hunting to get any. So he works too much now. And he got so aggravated with those wild hogs that have been coming up in his yard destroying stuff. He said, "Ma, shoot them and bury them. I'm so disgusted with them, I don't even want to eat them." Dang, the chewy cheesecake. You guys are cracking me up. PJ said, "Hey, I love some beans." Kathy said some Hawaiian mess. Well, I guess sorry, Cherry. Cherry. Dove and mushroom rice casserole is delicious. I bet it is. I don't usually buy mushrooms because I am somewhat allergic to them. Flying out to meet y'all for dinner someday. Yeah, we'll all have to meet somewhere at some fancy restaurant and eat dinner together. Well, I guess Blooming's not going to make it. Yeah, we'll go to Sonic. Jody's going to buy. I love some pork chops and rice. I love pork chops and rice too, Gladys. Well, y'all, I'm getting hungry. I know you're getting hungry. I got to get me some dinner, and I don't even know what it's going to be yet. I may go to Sonic and get me some of those fried onion rings. But I'm so happy all of you could make it. I'm sorry Bloomin' didn't make it because I wanted her to see me open my Crocs over here. Like I said, I've never owned a pair of Crocs in my life, but I think I'm going to enjoy these. And so I wanted to wish all of you a good evening. Have a sweet, blessed Sunday night. Anyway, have a blessed night. Tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And I'll see you on my next video. I love chatting with all of you. Bye.